Yeah, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So I thought this was an interesting topic. And shout out to the brother Big Tex 33. He dropped a super chat on the live that we did, the last live we did this past Saturday. Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford is a perfect fight. He dropped a super chat, and I thought it was an intriguing topic to discuss. He said, in this fight, we're going to see the difference in training, in the levels of coaching, in the levels of teaching and coaching and training between Derrick James and Bomac. And that's why I wanted to make this video. The truth behind that dynamic and the difference in levels. He spoke in particular to, in the event that Terrence Crawford gets down on the cards, if the fight goes rounds, and Terrence Crawford is down on the cards, we're going to see a direct reflection of the difference between the levels in coaching from Derrick James and Bomac. Bomac, when you listen to him in the corner with Terrence Crawford, number one, Terrence Crawford, he really hasn't had a lot of situations where he was down on the cards, or, you know, he faced a lot of adversity, or, you know, he really haven't had any, like, you know, many competitive matches where he either had to make adjustments or had to really turn the fight around and, you know, really turn shit up. Of course, in the Shawn Porter fight, it was a close competitive fight. But at the same time, Bomac in that situation didn't really tell Terrence Crawford, oh, you needed to do this or you needed to do that. It was just one of those situations where Terrence Crawford went in there and he said, oh, okay, I need to turn up real quick. He went in there, he started fighting, and his level was higher than Shawn Porter's level. That's just what it was. And he ended up getting Shawn Porter up out of there, right? You know, Kenny Porter throws in the towel. Shawn Porter is frustrated, fight over. You dig what I'm saying? But we really haven't seen Terrence Crawford in a situation where when he raises levels, that guy across from the ring can go up a level too. And when he want to take it up another level, that other guy can bring it up another level too. And in that situation, that's where the adjustments come in. That's where the coaching and the instructions come in the corner, where Terrence Crawford, you know, he at a point where, okay, he fighting his ass off. He bringing everything that he got to the table. Now you need a little bit of guidance from that outside looking in, somebody who maybe has a point of view that you don't necessarily have being in the ring. And if you listen to Derrick James, you see him, you know, with all his fighters. Even with Frank Martin in his last fight where Frank didn't look particularly good, when Frank actually went out there and did the shit that Derrick James was telling him to do, what happened? He was pushing Artem back, hurt him multiple times, made him take a knee. Every time he stepped on the gas and did what Derrick James told him to do, don't take no steps back. Use your jab to set your shots up. Give me one reason. Being very present in the moment and aware of everything that's going on, and grasping, capturing the attention of his fighter and making him look him in the eyes and communicate with him. Give me one reason why you not letting your hands go. Frank Martin said, I'm just not doing it. Frank Martin literally had no other reason why he wasn't doing what Derrick James told him to do. And when he finally grasped, okay, and the same shit happened in the Jackson Marinez fight. When he finally grasped that shit and he went out there and executed, you saw the difference. The Jermell Charlo fight, in the first fight versus Brian Castano, Derrick James giving him proper instructions. Jermell Charlo overthinking, just not doing what the fuck he's supposed to do. Second fight with Brian Castano. Did everything Derrick James told him to do. You saw the most complete Jermell Charlo you ever saw. You know what I'm saying? You really never see that with Errol Spence because Errol Spence is just one of the most coachable guys, along with his ring IQ and his abilities, his skill set. Just being a very coachable guy that allows him to go out there and just put on a beautiful display of the sweet science. And, you know, of course, with that aggression and that the ferociousness that comes behind everything that what Errol Spence brings to the table in that ring. You dig what I'm saying? But I feel like just Errol Spence is just a complete, when it comes to Derrick James, out of all his fighters, Errol Spence is just that complete package that got all the skills and then is just coachable to the highest level. Is able to take everything that Derrick James has formulated in training, everything that they done worked on in training camp. Errol Spence is one of those guys who can bring that picture to life vividly, bring all that shit to the forefront and perform exactly how Derrick James drew that shit up. In this fight, I think we're going to see that on display because Terrence Crawford will get behind on the cards. If this fight goes rounds, Terrence Crawford will be down on the cards. If it goes rounds, that lets me know that Terrence Crawford ain't landed that perfect shot that he been looking for. That knockout shot that a lot of people is saying that Terrence Crawford gonna land, because most of the people that I talk to about this fight that's picking Terrence Crawford, all of them say he gonna win by knockout. Even me, I say he only got a puncher's chance. Now people talk about all these boxing skills that he have, but for some reason everybody's saying he gonna win by knockout. There's very few people saying that he gonna outbox Errol Spence to a beautiful unanimous decision on the cards. So if this fight is going rounds, that's letting me know, number one, Errol Spence is having success and he's being defensively responsible, and Terrence Crawford ain't laying that shot that he's looking for, and it's going to tell me that Terrence Crawford is taking punishment. Now, how much of that he can take, that's yet to be seen in this particular fight with Errol Truth Spence Jr. You know what I'm saying? But Terrence Crawford will be down on the cards if this fight goes rounds. And in that moment, going back to what the brother Big Tex 33 said, he said that when Terrence Crawford is down on the cards, you gonna see Bomac freeze up. You gonna see Bomac freeze up. And I thought about that and I was like, you know what? I could actually picture that shit, because Bomac really don't offer no time. Like when he was looking less than stellar in the first half of that fight versus Mean Machine, got dropped in all type of shit, Bomac was talking about, you know, hey, you just got to find your rhythm. You got to fight him. Go get him. Not giving him no type of instructions. And then what Terrence Crawford do? He just go in there and just beat Terrence Crawford because the motherfucker can fight. He just go in there and fight. But that shit don't work when you got, that shit don't work all the time when you got another elite motherfucker on the other side of that ring who just as much of a dog, if not more of a dog than you are. Who's bigger and stronger. Who hit just as hard, if not harder. Who's as skilled or if not more skilled. Who's more experienced and more battle tested. Especially being on this stage. It's going to take something else. You know what I'm saying? And I can see Bomac being in a situation where he don't got nothing to offer Terrence Crawford. Nothing. I mean, the only thing that I can think of that just based off what I've seen is a pep talk. You know what I'm saying? Some type of theatrical pep talk, some shit that Teddy Atlas would do. And I mean, even Teddy Atlas gonna give you some real instructions. But you know, he real theatrical with the analogies and the, you know, the pep talks and, you know, the shit that he did with Tim Bradley when he fought, who was that he was fighting? I think he was fighting Brandon, who was he fighting? Brandon Rios. I think that's who Tim Bradley was fighting when he got that pep talk from Teddy Atlas. I think that's who it was. It could have been somebody else. But y'all know what I'm talking about. That's the type of shit that Bomac might be saying. Because, and if he ain't doing that, he gonna freeze up. And Terrence Crawford is gonna find himself in a situation where he gonna feel lonely as fuck. Now, at the end of the day, Errol Spence got to fight, and Terrence Crawford got to fight. Derrick James can't fight for Errol Spence, and Bomac can't fight for Terrence Crawford. So in that ring, it's lonely anyway. But I think Terrence Crawford going to feel some shit that he never felt before, because for the first time, he's going to be met with a resistance that he might need some help solving. You dig what I'm saying? And for the first time, maybe since the amateurs for Terrence Crawford, he's going to need that guidance from his coach and his trainer. And I think he's going to find out that ain't too much of that shit available. Whole time, Errol Spence is staying the course steadfast, slowly but surely breaking him down. I told y'all, Errol Spence, all he got to do is be Errol Spence. He don't got to do too much or nothing different. Just be Errol Spence, but sharp as fuck. That's all Earl got to do. Be Errol Spence, but as sharp as an Errol Spence that he could possibly be. Terrence Crawford is the one that's going to have to make adjustments. He the one that's going to have to deal with Errol Spence coming forward, putting pressure on him. Y'all watched the interview with Errol Spence on the pivot. He said, I'm going to be in that man's face all night. I'm going to break him. He going to wilt. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Crawford the one that got to make adjustments on how he going to get away from Errol Spence, or how he going to earn Errol Spence respect to push Errol Spence back, and so he won't be so damn dominant and confident coming forward and applying that physical and mental pressure. He the one that got to land the perfect shot to hurt Errol Spence and knock him out. He the one that got to find a way to use the entire ring on Errol Spence and win points so he won't fall behind on the cards and find himself, if the fight goes past 8, 9, and 10, which is unlikely, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the fight could go 12. It could go 12. And it could go to the late rounds. But the further on the fight goes is bad news for Terrence Crawford. The longer this fight go on, the worse it is for Terrence Crawford. And he going to find himself later on in the fight, 9, 10. You done took punishment. You behind on the cards. And your only option at this point is to fight. And you know what? Terrence Crawford is going to be your huckleberry. He going to fight. I see Terrence Crawford going out on his shield if it come to it. I don't see him laying down and just folding and not fighting back. He going to fight. But he going to find himself in a position where he ain't got no choice but to fight. Ain't going to be no adjustments. Ain't going to be no, you know what I'm saying, no instructions from Bomac. All Bomac going to do is tell him, hey, man, look, you know we worked on in the gym. Go get him. You got to find your rhythm. We going to see the difference in coaching in levels. Why Derrick James is multiple-time trainer of the year. Why he's on the verge of having 2 undisputed fighters. Some shit that nobody's doing. Y'all going to see the difference. Y'all going to see the difference. Derrick James, round by round, you going to hear the exact instructions. You going to hear concise, to the point, even demonstrative instructions on what Errol Spence need to do in that next round. And when push come to shove, I can see Bomac freezing up. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Have y'all thought about this aspect of the fight, the difference between the levels of coaching between Derrick James and Bomac? Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.